Microphone. Hey guys. There we go. Cool. Alright. All set. And here we go.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
All right.
Just me for now. Dork will not be joining us tonight, but JFresh will be around
Boomer moment. Are you on mute?
later. Am I on mute? No. Can you not hear me? Ooh. Hold on. Can anyone hear me?
Cool. Cool. What's up, chat?
Oh, no Discord audio. Alright, hold on. Alright, I might need to...
No, I don't know. I was pulled in here. I'm just having a question. Spot here.
No, you're
I just
good.
had a
You're
quick
good.
question for you if you'll indulge me.
Yeah, absolutely. What's up, man?
Awesome. What do you think happened on GameStop today?
Did something interesting happen on GameStop today?
Not specifically. I mean, we had a kind of a down day, but kind of followed up on 2 days ago. We had a down day as well. Just
Yeah.
figuring out if you think we have any price appreciation left before the issuance of the warrants.
What date are they issuing them on?
I think it's October 7th, which is kind of a weird day, right? Or maybe this is kind of a my psyche is showing here. I'm not quite sure. Let me double check. October 3rd. Yeah,
October
maybe that
3rd.
was my psyche.
So generally speaking, like the ETF FTD period washes out by like middle of the first week. So by like the 6th or 7th, there should be no more ETF FTDs, but the warrants might be issued ahead of that. XRT correlations at like negative 2.9% right now, but it's been turning around for like the last few days. So there was definitely like a brief period of covering. However, yeah, that might be largely over. Looks like volatility fell off a cliff and BTC correlations tanking. I mean BTC dropped pretty hard. Like in the last couple of days, it's down quite a bit. So that might have some effect now due to the exposure they have to that. But it seems recently, at least since Cohen picked up BTC, that there's been like a lot of like the ETF correlations tend to move up while BTC correlation moves down and vice versa. Which creates like a stronger like a stronger cyclicality, but it also like suppresses a lot of the volatility. And that's already kind of bad because overall liquidity's been really high since Cohen started diluting the shit out of everything. And effectively, warrants are like they're kind of like a fixed price dilution. So warrant holders, which are currently going to be convertible bond holders on the institutional side, for the most part, are going to be they're going to be incentivized to get the stock above that price and exercise those warrants before they expire. And so I would say it at least tells you that at some point in like the next year or so, it's very likely that GME will get above $32. However, when it does, those people are all going to exercise and close their warrants, and then shorts will probably pile in towards the expiry and try to fuck everybody out of out of being able to exercise them. So um, that's usually what happens with warrants. I mean, obviously GME could be different, but somehow I kind of doubt it.
Okay, hell yeah, that was a very comprehensive answer. If I may, can I ask you just like one last thing?
Sure.
Maybe just a yes or no.
Yeah.
What's the likelihood of GameStop reaching $32 on the day of the issuance of the warrants? In my
Pretty,
mind, it's kind of like pretty close to 100%. Am I like completely mistaken?
I feel like it's very unlikely. At least given where volatility is right now. And you said they're issuing them on the third.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of doubt that they would
Not
issue
that
them.
much time left. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of doubt they would issue them at like spot. Yeah, I would say low, like sub 10%.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah,
Have a good rest of your stream. Thank you.
you too, man. Later. Hmm. All right, who's next? The super stack still runs deep. Yeah, yeah, it does. You hold it for that long, and I don't know. All right, someone raise their fucking hand. I'm just up here by myself. This is bullshit. Hey, Balani, good to see you, man. Where are Quants? Busy. What's up, Nitu?
How you doing?
Doing alright. Fucking sick as shit. I kept like
Oh man,
passing out during the stream today.
I know. I saw you were literally dozing off, and Rims and Tim's was like all capsing you. I'm like, dude, you're sick. Give him,
You
give him a
should
little slack.
you should have told him shush.
That's Jen Jen's job. I don't want. I can't. I don't want to take Jen Jen's job.
That's true. You could have taken a day off. Ugh. Yeah, and die inside instead of physically. Rude.
I mean, is that why you had those 12 ES contracts? You needed something to be alive.
No, I bought six and then I bought six more. That was awesome, by the way, because we went up $40. But then I kind of fell asleep when we topped, so I missed the exit by like a little bit, but it was fine.
Nice. I didn't have any like Gammastrike. I was just coming on to chat you up and make sure you're feeling all right. I was
Oh,
hoping Jay Fresh would be around because I did have a question for you that is pertains to him.
oh,
Yeah.
can I answer it?
Yeah. Oh no, it's a question for you that pertains to him. It's
I
the
see.
when you sous vide salmon, what's your preferred temperature in Fahrenheit, if you don't mind? Is
When
it
I
one
sear
twenty five?
when I sear
Sous vide.
salmon, sous vide.
No, not sous vide. Sous vide.
Oh, like yeah, like 120, 125.
Mm.
Why?
Oh, because he hates sous vide.
Oh, does he?
Oh yeah, terribly.
Huh. I did not know he felt that way. He doesn't like to
Oh yeah.
slow boil his meat before cooking it.
No, 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 no.
What a weirdo.
He doesn't like to science his proteins.
Did you listen to the podcast?
I did listen to the
Give
podcast.
me your
I'm waiting
harshest
for
criticism. Just
sorry,
me.
sorry, what was that?
Leave. I said, give me your harshest criticism.
Ooh. Hmm. Were you going for the extra kind of laid back, you know, goofiness between the camaraderie between the three of you, or you? I thought I from previous, well, mostly JFresh, I thought you guys were going to try to be a little bit more serious. And I'm not saying either way is good or bad. It's just that was something I took notice of. Is like it didn't seem to go in the direction that you all were hinting you're going to take it.
Yeah, he started off real strong. I don't know what was going on. He had like a whole thing like written up when we started recording, and I was like, what's that? What are you gonna do with it? And he's like, just bear with me. And I was like, all right. And
Who had a whole thing written up?
JFresh, he was ready. He was doing the whole thing.
Oh wait, he had like bullet points and everything, huh?
Yeah, like a list and like a little speech.
It went. Well, it didn't go to baby farms technically fast, but it went to baby farms fast.
Yeah. Wait, which one?
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Are you talking about the newest one or the first one?
The first one, not is
The one where I like
on
mislabeled.
Spotify different.
Yeah, that's a new one.
Oh, I need to listen to that. I thought because it was okay. So the first one you posted was like a session zero kind of
I think it's like it was like
pre-thing.
our fifth one, but yeah, it was just like we were
Okay.
just dicking around. But yeah, the Spotify one's new. That's a whole brand new one.
Oh,
That's our
no,
first
I
like
didn't listen to that.
official one. I think it has
I
like
thought you
intro
just
music and shit.
ooh. No, I'll go listen to that once I get a chance here. My son is finishing up his coding lessons.
Nice.
Oh, he's done. Yeah, pretty soon you can. I'll set you up with an intern that can code better than Dork.
That sounds hard, but don't tell Dork that.
Oh, I do tell Dork that all the time.
Oh, okay. He's getting very good. He didn't even know Python when we started.
I know. Well, neither did my son.
Mm-hmm.
It was cute when he was using Scratch and making little Pokemon visual effects.
Oh boy. This is going to be a conversation. Now, you know, I'm going to have to console him later if he hears this.
About Pokemon? Oh no. Oh,
No, Dork.
Oh, Dork?
Yeah, I'm going to have to like buy him extra quesadillas or something.
He owes me a quesadilla.
Does he? You're never getting that.
No,
He always eats them
I know.
before he gives them back.
I know. Or at least he's gonna lick it.
Yeah, probably. But like in front of you.
Oh, I know. No, I told him if he's actually ever brave enough to make it all the way up to Portland instead of just halfway up the state,
Yeah.
then we'll go to we'll sample Taco Bell and Taco Time, and see which one is more grungy.
Mm. I don't love Portland. I don't mind the left side of the state. But Portland, I don't like hanging out on rivers.
Aren't you surrounded by rivers?
And the ocean. It's like a delta,
And
though.
the ocean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have both. You have more ocean, brackish water.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen your water. It's the seawater. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So is Pacific seawater. Actually, fuck you. Atlantic seawater is way clearer. That like weird kelpy brown shit that you guys swim in is disgusting and cold as fuck.
Yes, it is cold as fuck. Grew up surfing in a head to toe wetsuit.
Portland is full of gypsies. NW, you're correct.
Oh yes, 100%. Gypsies and witches and all sorts of weird stuff. That's kind of the brand.
A lot of people that have just done way too many psychedelics.
That's a little bit more Eugene, but yeah, sure. No, that's fair. Oh, we do have Reed College. Yeah. Steve Jobs' alma mater for the one semester of college that he took.
Gulf of Mexico is filled with saliva. It's a totally different swimming experience.
in Cancun back in August. Like, and I'm calling that the Atlantic. I know it's the Caribbean and whatnot, but that was brown kelpy gross water that smelled like poop.
Really?
The whole thing. Oh
Where were you?
yeah. Technically Playa del Carmen.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Been to like St. Kitts or like the Virgin Islands or the
No, no,
Bahamas? Very clear.
no. Apparently, reading into it, the stinky seaweed is affecting the entire Caribbean.
Mm,
But
interesting. Haven't been there.
the East Coast.
Haven't been anywhere near there in a long time.
This is the first time I've been in Mexico in about 20 years,
Hmm.
but it was nice. No, you don't like rivers, huh?
No, I don't.
Well, I don't really blame you about Portland and the river. I mean the Willamette, as we call it. You're not wrong on that front.
Yeah, I find them to be stinky and muddy, and they also
The
flood, which freaks me out.
Yes, about every 7 years to have a flood.
Mm.
Um, and they can be quite brown, or the Willamette at least can be quite brown. It's actually pretty funny. There's a company startup that they also have these up on Lake Washington. They're called yacht tubs.
Yeah.
They're little boats with a hot tub, but they have like a really low, riding height above the water.
Hmm.
So if it's at all just a little bit choppy on the Willamette, all that cold poopy water gets splashed into the hot tub with the people.
Uh.
It's Yeah, it's fun to
Uh.
watch.
Remember when Nuke's girlfriend went in that river and got sick?
Oh, like yeah, yeah.
Remember how I knew all of the parasites and diseases she might have? That's why I don't go in
Yes,
rivers.
Giardia was the only one that I picked up on.
Giardia is a nasty one.
Oh yeah, beaver fever for those that don't know.
Hmm. You know that they also make artificial vanilla flavoring from beaver anal gland secretions?
Yes, I did know that. Also, they
Fantastic.
make it from wood.
Yeah. Mostly wood nowadays, I think. But I just want to know who licked a beaver's ass and was like, man, that tastes like cake.
French fur trappers, I bet you.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, I would believe that out of the Quebecois. No offense to any French
Yeah, yeah.
Canadians listening.
We're
Meant.
just putting two and two together here.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason they're called the Grand Tetons and here in Oregon the Three Sisters and whatnot. It's a bunch of horny French dudes all alone in the woods, looking at mountains and thinking they're boobs.
This is the kind of content that keeps me coming back for more. Yep.
Yep. Yep. Late night with Pickle and Otter until someone has a
Question.
GameStop question.
Yeah, I wonder if anybody's actually going to ask one.
Gammastrike was
Grim2's about to ask me
pretty
if I'm
fun
going to
off
take my
yesterday.
shirt off. My shirt's already off, Grim2.
Yeah, he's got a fever.
Yeah, it's hot.
Uh, I was still surprised on
Hey,
the
Gurk,
second dip on the 70 test.
can you review
Anyone
my...
have an actual question?
Yeah, here are my thoughts on credit spreads and condors. I posted in the ladies' chat. Some of us are trying to learn more about the sell side, ideally more low maintenance positions. Yeah, I can take a look. Let's see. Where did I hide the ladies' chat? Where is it? There it is. Okay. I'm gonna assume it's this post here. So credit spreads on iron condors guidelines. Okay, so this is like a overall strategy, I assume. All right, so optimal market, stable mean reverting volatility with positive GEX. Yes. Yeah, positive gamma environments are conducive to sell side because of realized volatility suppression due to increased gamma. Means that there's less intraday realized vol. Allows you to tighten up the theta on spreads, and reduces their overall risk, especially when out of the money. Avoid trending markets, high tail risk, negative GEX, steep IV skew. Okay. No, steep negative IV skew is risky, but it can be profitable for short out of the money puts. That's correct. Yeah. If you get puts are pricing up really hard. However, I will say that if puts are pricing up really hard, that probably means there's a lot of demand for them, which means that you might be selling into somebody else bailing on the same position. Or people buying into that position, which is arguably even more bearish. So you do want to be very careful with those conditions. Even if profitability does rise, the risk rises along with it. I wonder if I can get this up on the screen. Hold on. Let me see if I can like take a screenshot and post this so we can just so everyone can see what I'm reading. Boom, boom, boom.
I'm still on the phone.
I knew you're there.
Oh no, that was my daughter.
Oh. All right. Conditions. Elevated IV relative to HV. Options overpriced. Favorable for premium selling. Yeah, so yeah, you wanna measure the spread there. Greater the spread, the more options are overpriced. So that seems fine. Short term 0 to 3 DTE before major events. Monitor IV. Okay. I do have a problem with selling prior to major events. That's generally a scenario where buying the debit spread and getting the long volatility exposure is better than selling the premium. Because premium on those contracts is likely to go up, which leaves you in a position where you may not be able to close your spread prior to the risk event, because the spread has priced up. Generally speaking, I would want to buy vol into rising event volatility and then close it prior to crush and then sell the crush post event. Long-term 30-45 DT, avoid rapid IV expansion, e.g. IV 30 rising quickly. Theta decay accelerates. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Short put position, price greater than GN. Short put at strike below GN, and price greater than DF. So the DF only matters. So if you're looking at GN as a point to sell, you're probably looking more at like your 30-45 DTE, like a crossover of gamma neutral to the upside. You're going to usually want to sell theta against that. And then as volatility crushes out and gamma turns more and more positive, you want to sell less and less theta over time. So I'm not sure DF is really relevant there. DF is going to be more important for when you're selling intraday. And generally speaking, intraday, you're not running into gamma neutral a lot. And if you are, it's probably bearish. Like on the bullish side, you generally don't spend a lot of time around GN. You kind of just rocket through it because the market makers hedge flips and they become immediately supportive of upside moves, and price tends to accelerate to the upside really rapidly out of a negative gamma environment. And so, you know, the only time you really spend a lot of intraday time around gamma neutral is usually if the market's getting more bearish and volatility is picking up, because everyone's trying to cling on to gamma neutral rather than allowing, IV to unpin and kind of expand, which is kind of the situation the market's in right now. So I would say those are probably pretty good things to keep in mind. 5 to 10% out of the money. Moneyness 88 to 112. Okay. It's like 1.2% out of the money. Or okay. Hmm. So 5 to 10% out of the money can be, way too much for. I mean, it's definitely way too much for intraday, unless you mean like 5 to 10 BPS out of the money. Um, those are really far out of the money. I mean, the premiums that far out are probably not worth the risk. Because I mean, like right now, for instance, is it gonna fucking load? 0.88 out of the money is, all the way down here. This is like 12% below spot. And this could be like a really good chart to use for gauging where you want to sell puts, because you can see where everybody else is selling their puts, and you can use their puts as a hedge. And that it will offer you a layer of protection before your puts get reached. And like right now, everybody's about. Wow, that moved up quite a bit. Which one's higher? So everyone's about 4.1% out of the money. And if you were to sell like 4.9 out of the money, you would have a bit of a buffer there to protect you. Whereas if you're selling on this side of the put leverage where it's declining, you're taking on a lot more risk, but you'd be capturing more premium. But 0.88 moneyness. Maybe you meant like 0.9, like 0.988 moneyness would be like 1.2% from. That's a 12% from spot. 0.88. That's quite far away. So and then same to the upside. The 0.12 would be all the way out here. So those would be excessively, I think, excessively wide. But that might just be an error with the decimals, and I might be reading it wrong. On trend up days, puts on mean reversion outperform calls. Yeah, so this is like I think this is where your DF factors in. So if you have delta flip on the intraday and price is trending above, so the spread between delta flip and price, spot and DF, is widening, then this environment is very conducive to kind of a buy the dip, sell the rip type of behavior from participants. And so when you get, some mean reversion, it'll usually be realized very quickly and over very fast. However, those opportunities when price drops like that can be really, really good for selling puts. because prices, because of the trend, and the supportive nature of the market, the next mean reversion is not likely to go as low. And this is one of the things, like if you're a big put buyer, big intraday bear, you'll notice that you get fucked on these a lot. Like these are the worst days because price never gets back to the level where it first mean reverted to. And so, you spend all day waiting through this climb, and then you're like, oh, it's still going to break down to where where my puts are profitable. And then it whiffs, and you just get burned out on the whole thing. So these are very good opportunities for selling puts. On the opposite side of Delta Flip, down here, price trending down with Delta Flip kind of probably starting to follow suit into the end of the day, but usually widening. Mean reversions here can be really good opportunities to sell calls. The only thing is of these two scenarios, this one is higher volatility and presents greater risk. Slightly. Because mean reversion on this side of the coin is generally to a fixed price. And so, you'll get mean reversion to the same strike over multiple, bounces or V's. And so that can be a little more shaky for calls. Like we saw this price action in trading today where we failed and then bounced back to like 66.20, and then we failed and bounced back to 66.10. um and those bounce backs are really violent. That's kind of just the inherent nature of like the negative gamma environment versus the positive one. um Short call positioning, ideally above GM. Yeah, that's awesome when you get the opportunity for it. Um, these are usually going to be. This is where you're going to look for those 30 to 45 DTE ones. And obviously GM monthly greater than GM weekly, but both are significant levels. Um, what I will say is, um, it, you're not going to see Gamma Max very often. And so, yeah, I mean, when you do see it, there's an opportunity to sell. It's not always the most profitable. But intraday favor when price less than DF. Opposite, I think opposite that. Price, price greater than price greater than Delta Flip. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay, yeah, never mind. That's correct. Yeah, that's what I was just explaining. Target low delta 0.012020. Yeah, so delta definitely better than moneyness for these. I wouldn't necessarily target low delta. I would look for, big piles of gamma, or big piles of delta, even better, where, they fall off at the following strike. Those tend to those tend to be like really good places to find resistance. So if price is going up, this is kind of the peak of delta. Let me switch that. This one's kind of low, and then it just falls off a cliff after that. It's very likely that this is going to be pretty hard resistance. It's very, very hard to climb over that because even if there's gamma up here, there's like very little delta for it to act on. And in these scenarios, selling calls up here, even higher, possibly higher delta than that can be really favorable because the market requires a lot of repositioning for price to like get up into that range where there's no delta. And if you're doing those like end of day, it's even more significant. You do have to watch out for getting squeezed, but price less than TF, MM hedging moves, upward moves harder to sustain. Yeah. General positioning rules, price greater than DF, favorite puts. Okay, yep. Align with OI and gamma clusters, confirm interest with volume. Okay. Well, not OI for intraday. Um, but gamma, yes. OI for longer dated. If IV 3060 greater than 10, adjust delta. Okay, yeah. Watch Vano for large moves or IV shocks, especially 0 DTE. Yeah, so that one's really important. And you want to look. You want to look for like that's not a good one here. Let me pull up this one. You want to look for like where you have peaks in Vana. These levels can present a great deal of risk if price were to pass them. This is pretty flat for tomorrow, but just to give a general idea. Usually it's a lot spikier, especially intraday. It's very unlikely to go past like when you look at Vana on the intraday, you'll generally have like this kind of situation. Um, Price loves to stay here. It's hard for it to move out here, but when it does, call prices or put prices will rise as it moves. And then it's really, really hard for it to break these levels. It does happen. Um, Everyone who's been here long enough has seen the MM get like Vana squeezed, but it's really, really rare. So these are generally like if you see one of these breached and you're out of the money, you really want to probably close your position because you will probably get blown out. Like it's gonna start squeezing in that direction. And then yeah. Now something to note here also is that in negative gamma environments, when volatility is amplified, you benefit from switching to the debit spread. So debit greater than credit in negative gamma environments. Because these are long vol exposed. And you expect vol to rise. Whereas credit spreads are short vol exposed. Negative DEX indicates net short positioning, implies participants were buying calls or shorting puts. Okay. DEXA. Actually, on DEXA, you want to look for. Okay, so DEX is always negative. DEXA moves between negative and positive. So if we go here, this is your DEXA line is the upper one. DEX is the lower one. So DEX should always be negative, no matter what. DEXA is going to tell you the boughtness or soldness of the chain. However, boughtness is bullish, so positive DEXA. As it moves positive, I should say. As it moves positive. More bullish. Kind of like momentum. And as it moves negative, bearish. Rapid DEX changes indicate volatility shifts. Generally, well, on indexes, large DEX changes come with expirations, and expirations are always a big risk if you have open short vol on the chain. So you want to make sure that you're doing something to mitigate expiration risk. Obviously, for the SPXW contract, that's going to be the monthly contract is going to be the most important. And then after that, every Friday. And on the SPX AM, it's just the OPEX contract. Or the AM expiry contract will be the only one where you'll see big changes there. Close at 20% premium capture or on IV collapse. Okay, so 20% premium capture is a good price target, but remember that these positions all benefit from profitability. Or you're going to become more profitable the longer you're in the position. So 20% is a good return. But you're gonna far exceed that 20% on intraday spreads pretty frequently. And then even like weekly spreads and stuff, if you get a big enough move or you can confirm that the chain has shifted significantly in your favor, your profitability benefits greatly over time from letting that position expire worthless. So you do want to be aware of the like levels that we're trading in. You want to be aware of the gamma environment. You want to be aware of upcoming news. But you also, you want to you want to take advantage of the times when your spread's so far out of the money you don't need to close it. So be a little don't be too strict with your premium capture. If you do feel like you have a grasp of those things, if you feel like you do not, then keep it like that. Close adjustive spot near short strikes. Maintain delta neutrality. Okay. Yeah, there's a few ways to do that. You can turn them into butterflies. You can turn them into calendars. You can box them if they're profitable. You can open them, so you can close, the short side and gain additional exposure to the downside or the upside, depending on what spread you've sold. If price breaks DF, it may signal continuation. Yeah, so if you've this is especially important if you've like sold intraday a put, like sell put here, right, on mean reversion, and then price continued to trend away from DF, and DF continues to climb. If DF breaks here later on in the day, you probably want to close. Okay, yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Well thought out. Stick to the rules. Peaks intraday only because I was also trying to compare longer term versus intraday and started questioning myself. Mm. Intraday can be easier to manage, um, but tends to be much higher risk in order to get mm, any significant premium out of the spreads. But if you're if you're very good at identifying, where price action is going to top out or bottom out, um, and you're really good at identifying those levels with the information provided, then obviously you don't have to wait for an extreme move. But I will say that extreme moves tend to be a higher probability scenario. But very well done. What's up, Jay Fresh?
What's going on? I was just letting you do your thing.
No, yeah, I was just I was running through somebody wrote up a Maple wrote up a trade setup or some trading rules to follow for this by the way, all of you guys should be doing stuff like this regularly. You should be putting together a plan of action that you can execute consistently, because being a trader does not require that you be good at analysis. It requires that you find something profitable and execute it consistently. So I could predict markets all day and never make any money off of it. You've got to actually have a plan that you can stick to, and this is that kind of thing. This is what you need to do. I know it seems like a lot, and no one wants to keep a journal and do all the nerdy shit, and it's more fun to gamble, but it's also more fun to walk away with more money in your pocket at the end of the day than you showed up with.
Gross. Good job, Maple. I don't know what you wrote. I'm probably never going to read it, but good job. Actually, I might go take a peek at it, if I'm being honest.
It's in the well, she probably wanted to make some revisions, but
You just gave away all your alpha. Everybody in here is going to copy you and ruin the edge.
those edges are so huge.
That's what she said. Hazy. Oh god, we're still doing that.
Hazy is dead to me. Don't bring up Hazy. Anyway, who's next? I'm sick. I'm not going to be here all night.
Yeah, you sound terrible. You should
Yeah.
go to bed.
I do. Yeah. You should go to bed.
I should. Did you ever get your temp down?
Did I get what? Yeah, no, I don't have a fever. Don't have a fever. It was really weird. Like, it started off, like, with a fever and I just, like, chills and shit. And then it turned into, like,
Oh, I hate that.
2 days of a stomach virus, and now I just have a cold.
Oh.
Like, a really bad cold. And the air conditioner isn't working. So it's, like, fucking 80 degrees and 80% humidity, and I have a
What's
cold.
wrong with your air conditioner?
I don't know. I don't know why it's not cooling. It's just like not. It's not cooling things.
Do you have a unit? Where's your unit?
No, it's like HVAC, like central air.
Yeah, where's the unit?
On the roof. I don't know. Basement, roof, wherever they keep them. Thanks, Wolf of Walgreens.
They've got to. I mean, it's probably a capacitor. It's always a capacitor.
No. I would believe that. That makes sense.
I think they just have a bunch on hand.
That's on the 15-minute orb setup. We've been hanging out with too many loser future traders.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a trading strategy that people use for like ES and stuff. Opening range breakouts.
Sounds lame.
Yeah, it is.
Is that like a Keltner channel?
Kind of. But like, that's some. Huh. It's kind of like you play the market open, right? And you define the range before market opens, and then if it crosses into the bullish part of the range that you defined, you go long. If it crosses into the bearish part of the range, you go short. I think a lot of people like it because it's like easy to repeat, but I don't think it's I don't think it's generally very good. Yeah, no range weight. It's like I don't know. It's like I've done it before. It's like 62, 63%. So kind of low rune weight, but it's like easy to risk manage. You just use MACD, it's slightly better.
MACD, gross.
I mean, that's basically they're just using prior price action to define future price action. That's what all technical trading strategies involve.
Have people figured out that delta neutral is just it's just a moving average of price?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
That'd
be funny though.
Did you know that my indicator wasn't a 20-day moving average?
It was, yeah, right. I know it was a 21-day moving average.
How dare you? Wait, did Dork actually ever show you what it was?
No.
Oh, alright. I actually think you'd like it, but oh, I'll have to show you one night. Order a portable AC. It's like $300. Why would I? Why would I want to jam one of those in here? Just have
That's what she
just have someone fix my air conditioner. It just wasn't cooling today, so I've been very hot. I guess 2 days. I've been too sick to deal with it. I wonder if DoorDash would bring me an air conditioner. I don't use an EMA. I don't like spending money on frivolous shit, Jen. Buying an air conditioner when I already have one, absurd. Now, if it's like food or something like that, then yes, I'll spend whatever it costs. It's getting cooler anyway. That's just not true.
That's poor person talk.
What?
It's getting cooler anyway. I don't need AC. You're living in the greatest time of humanity because you can decide that the air around you is whatever state you wish. That's the only reason this is the greatest time in humanity.
Order it from Costco and return it when you're better. I don't even know. Oh, okay, maybe. That sounds alright. I did see that one lady return a eaten chicken, so I feel like I could return a barely used air conditioner. But then I have to get it to the Costco.
Honestly, the time it would take for them to fight you and kick you out of the store would probably be more than the cost of the unit.
Costco doesn't fight you. You can just return anything. Always.
I know.
No questions asked.
That's why they do it.
Yeah, it's genius. Because the number of people that are likely to take advantage of that are
Right.
very small.
Right. And the cost of trying to contest it is large enough that it's not worth it.
Well, more companies should do that.
Yeah. $3 months for a free monitor? That's cool.
One time I bought a video card on Amazon and I returned it, and then they sent me another video card, but also gave me my money back.
Was this also in 2021?
It's like 2022, I think. It was the video card I had before this one.
Yeah. Well,
They just
Cliff
like,
was saying how they were just like leaving grills on his driveway.
yeah. Oh yeah, remember when I
It
got
was,
the grill and they gave me two, they gave me two of them,
it was a beautiful time back then.
and then
People
I
were
lit it on
just
fire by accident.
you would.
I did, yeah.
How dare you?
The fire got in the place where the pellets were, and then the whole thing melted.
Sounds like it shouldn't happen.
I didn't read the instructions, so it probably shouldn't have, but it did. And then remember, Costco like sent a truck out to my house and picked it up. That was dope, and gave me my money back. I think I could return a pool. You can return anything to Costco. Anything you buy there, you can return, except sheets. I think it's like sheets. They have some sort of like
That
health
sounds like
thing.
a good rule.
Yeah, sheets and underwear,
sheets.
something like that.
Oh.
Can I return dude wipes? Only after you've used them. Fucking do it.
When I used to work retail, we had to tell everybody to please leave their underwear on when they were trying on bathing suits and things.
Where did you work? You worked at like Aeropostale or Abercrombie?
American Eagle.
Uh,
There were a lot of gross people.
that would gross me out. Like putting my naked body into clothes that other people had tried on would gross me out.
Well, yeah, it's mostly just the swimsuits, right? I don't. We didn't really have a. I don't think we had an issue with people taking off their underwear to try on jeans. That'd be weird.
When I worked at Target when I was 16, there was this guy that would go in the like women's lingerie section, and he would like grab a big pile of bras and then take them in the changing room and jerk off on them, and then just like leave the mess there. And he did this like every day for months.
I'm sorry. What?
So I was like, when I
None
was,
of that made any sense.
oh,
What?
do I need to repeat the whole story?
What brought him to that point in his life?
I don't know. I saw him a couple times, and he looked sad.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he wasn't like jerking off in front of people or anything. But also, yeah, weird. I was a cashier. I was super busy. I didn't have time to go
They didn't
deal with
pay
that kind of
the
shit. Nice. Ooh, I got a question over here. If I have an out of the money put and price falls below those high peaks in Vana, should I close the put? Uh, yeah, it's a good position to risk off from. Like if price starts to move back into the middle of the like speed Vana saddle and your sold put is somewhere in there, yeah, your risk would increase if those were breached back to the downside. I will say that generally once it breaches like the Vana peak to the upside, it doesn't usually come back down. But and then like same thing to the downside if like the dealer ends up negative Vana, the market generally just sells off until it closes. Which is again super rare, but basically it creates a scenario where the market maker is buying puts and like they're buying long vol on falling prices, which causes vol to go up even more as prices fall, which causes them to buy more long vol, which drives vol up more and causes price to fall more, and then they have to buy more, and it was just kind of, yeah, feedback loop, reflexivity. No, Gherk, you failed. No, not till Moas. I never agreed to that.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
You know, there's an entire subreddit of guys just holding all their sperm in, saving it for.
One of my buddies
They think it gives them
came up
like
with
superpowers.
one of my buddies came up with the concept of the megaload.
Is that where you just take
And
like
he
a
talked endlessly about it.
huge amount of
I
zinc?
didn't hear about it for
Oh.
years while he was going through like his having babies with his wife phase.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea was that as you're getting closer to the delivery date, you start saving up. Like you just go for like a month, and then you unleash the megaload, and that will cause them to go into labor.
I feel like this guy wasn't a medical expert by any means.
Not at all.
Okay, I was, yeah. Your balls have kind of like a fill limit, and like anything after that's just overflow.
Yeah, I was just like, aren't you just like, isn't it just old at that point? I don't know. I don't know how balls work at all. I just know pee is stored in them.
How do I defeat the chemical dump into my brain that makes me think I'm a god and throw reason out the window? Remember, you're not me. Where does the
I like how
overflow go?
everybody-
Where the pee isn't.
I like nobody has any questions about Gammastrike because they all understand it now, or they've all just given up.
That's correct, dude. About the Vana. I turned into the wrong stream for the first time in a while. Didn't realize JFresh was tutoring life lessons. What's up, Updog? Other options macro, something you update only after market close? That's correct. Options macros a nightly update.
Yeah, it's
Well, actually, it updates after close and then in the morning also, right?
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Because it's based primarily on the OI of the entire market, and that's only updated periodically. But I guess we could make it live. It would be sensitive to price in the intraday, even with non-changing OI. But Maple, I'll go read it. I can't read it tonight, but maybe this weekend.
I thought you were going to say something about bandwidth.
Never have any bandwidth.
Vega the same way? No. No. Vega probably just tells you more about the sensitivity of those Vana levels. Mobile version going to be a thing one day. Yeah, there's going to be like an app and shit. But right now, our goal is to just get it functional on mobile so that if people need to use it on mobile, that can be done. It is a monumental task to put all of this into like a standalone app, but we'll get there. Can you talk about how the SKU and the IV page? How should one use it when doing analysis? Ooh. JFresh?
Question.
Do you want to?
So I mean, I can give you my own insights in terms of using it to build specific strategies. I haven't done back testing on it myself, but what it's telling you are very similar things to what, say, for example, the like skew adjusted DEXA is telling you. So it's giving you some sense of bought sold. Now that will give you a sense of current market positioning and any potential weaknesses, but what could what could happen afterwards is not immediately clear. But basically what it's telling you is the more negative it is, the more valuable puts are. So people, oh, can you hear me? I'm talking right into it. How's that?
I can hear you. Maybe on YouTube it's harder. Hold on, let me bump you up over there.
Okay. Um, yeah, so when skew is negative, that means that puts are more valuable, and puts generally, obviously, they become more valuable either when people just stop selling so much supply, or when people start getting scared or need to, feel that they need more downside protection. Now, it doesn't mean things are going to go down, right? That could just mean that if the market is climbing up even while that is declining, then maybe it like flattens out a little bit, and then those hedges don't play out, and then all that delta falls off, and then the market rockets. So it just kind of is it's almost like a sentiment measure in a way. As your skew gets more positive, that tends to be correlated to the desire to have more calls, and so you can kind of look at that over time and see, how does that evolve, and how does that correlate to various changes. But yeah, I mean, one of the ways that we like to think about it is that skew is a rough proxy for bot soldness, because if the price is linked to supply and demand, then the more that an option is sold, the more supply there is, so the lower the price will be, and vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, I think that mostly covers it. There's more like technical uses for skew, but I don't think a lot of people are gonna really get into those too much. But some of it could be like, around event risk, where you get like, crash protection demand, or people start, monetizing their hedges. Um, it can tell you a little bit more like about the vol surface. Um, it can tell you a little bit about like Vana and Charm. Like steeper downside generally implies that like there will be more of a shift in delta if volatility moves. So if there's a volatility shock, you might be able to use skew to benefit from being like a little further out of the money or a little closer to the money, than maybe like other participants would be. Um, can't really think of anything else off the top of my head. Comparing skew across multiple time frames can be really useful. So if you're looking at like the near dated skew, or like month out skew, 60-day out skew, that can tell you a lot about how people are positioned in like the near and the long term. And like, generally like really really flat skew will kind of tell you that people aren't really buying out of the money hedges. They're kind of just sitting on spot. They're not worried about anything, and that tends to lead to periods of with like a lot of realized volatility crush. Um,
Yeah. So I mean, you think about it like this. Everybody kind of I think everybody here is pretty good about just volatility levels. Higher volatility means people are in a lot of puts and they're probably eventually going to sell them off, and then short vol's going to come in and try to short that, right, by selling more puts and calls. So people kind of get that sense of, okay, if volatility is high, it's probably because, people are, selling basically and buying puts, selling underlying and buying puts. So the skew tells you a similar thing, but it gives you some measure of where on the chain people are doing that.
Yeah.
Whether that's kind of correlated more to calls or to puts, right? So is volatility going up because of irrational exuberance? It's going to be exploding higher, or is it going up because people are buying puts
Skew.
and they're
Oh,
scared?
also, yes, I forgot this part. This is kind of important. Skew can be traded directly like volatility can. Like skew is a tradable product.
Yeah, it's
Um,
also mean reverting.
yeah. So it's like you have to use risk reversals, sell put buy call. So synthetic long, synthetic short. But those can directly benefit from changes in skew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else. I think it covers most of the skew stuff. Why is put leverage always
At least the
higher?
low hanging fruit.
Because it's an index. Because the index skews put leverage. Like people don't sell tons of puts on single stock equities generally, but they sell tons of puts on the index, and so that makes put leverage like really really high. Because not only is like in index skew almost always pretty negative, and so puts are more. But also, that's where they're all getting sold, and so the premiums coming in from put selling are really high, and the amount of leverage put into those trades is enormous. And so, generally speaking, put leverage much higher than call leverage. The indexes, like if you took the indexes, I'm pretty sure if you took the indexes out of the macro data, you'd probably have far more even, far more even leverage ratios between puts and calls.
Yeah, a lot of the sold stuff's on the indices. So
Or index mirroring ETFs, which are traded the same way.
yeah.
Who's gonna get up here? Willie, you want to close it out? Someone?
Just end it.
Did you guys go over the OI heat map? Yeah, a couple roundtables ago. Went over it a couple times. All right, man. No worries. Maximus is waiting till Dork's here so he can prove he's a real person. But I think we've about, yeah, we got some questions in. It's been like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I don't think Dork's showing up, man.
No, he's
He
not.
ghosted you.
No, he was very clear. No, I don't understand. Negative delta can be squeezy at the bottom of an expected move. Is that just dealer hedging? Flipping occurs when bulls buy and the money calls and sell puts to bounce it up? No. The dealer. So as that negative delta moves at the money and in the money, the dealer has to buy. So you get what's called a cover bid, which is basically the dealer starts buying, and it's also a feedback loop where the dealer starts buying, and that pushes price up, which pushes more negative delta towards spot, which causes the dealer to buy more, which pushes the price up, and on and on. And so yeah, when you fall hard under a big pile of delta, it's very very likely that the market can squeeze at least somewhat back to the upside. You can run into like piles of negative delta that are so big that it's really hard to cross back to the upside, and those will end up being kind of resistance. But usually, if like there's a peak of negative delta and you cross back over it, the market will do what it did today and just keep squeezing until it runs out of delta to squeeze. So remember when I called the bottom at 65.70, and I was like, oh man, if they catch this, they're gonna squeeze it all the way back up. That was why. I did those things. Yeah, if there's not a well, yeah, if there's not a lot of delta, then having a lot of gamma is not very important because there's less delta for the gamma to act on. Could you show us that on the charts? What, like how delta squeezes off? Uh, maybe. I mean, yeah, if all of this was a lot bigger, but like this 66.15, if that were to go, in the money, all of that would probably like squeeze off to like 40. And that's like kind of another little local peak. These are very small, so it's kind of hard to see, but and then, if price cross that, it's likely to squeeze off until you hit positive delta out here at like 66.70. And that's what happened today on the 65.70 test. Was the upside was just stacked with negative delta, and so we caught a bounce and started to turn around, and that bounce just ran and ran and ran until it ran out of delta to squeeze. Later, Willie. Have a good night, man. I'm gonna take off. JFresh, thanks for popping in. I appreciate it, dude.
No problem. Baby farms.
Baby Farms. Everybody have a good night. We'll see you in the morning.